symbiotic, and let's face it, often absurd relationship between viral content creators and the online critics who roast them. It's not just petty internet drama, you know? It's actually a pretty incredible window into modern engagement farming, cultural boundaries, and the literal extremes people will push themselves to just for views. In this explainer, we're going to break down the mechanics of what a lot of people call cringe content and look at the highly structured roast culture that feeds right off of it.
Okay, listen to this quote. People survive because of social media, not oxygen. I mean, wow, right? This bizarre extreme claim comes directly from our source material, and honestly, it hits the nail on the head when it comes to the mindset driving this whole ecosystem. For these creators and their hardcore followers, the digital world has pretty much eclipsed physical reality. Social media isn't just an app on their phone anymore, it's the lifeblood of their entire existence. It's a wild statement, but it perfectly sets the stage for why these online battles get so fiercely intense.
So, let's start with Section 1, Content Creation for Engagement.
To really grasp this ecosystem, we've got to look at the actual strategies being used. And we're talking about some truly outrageous lengths creators go to just to keep that social media oxygen flowing. According to the analysis, it's like there's a literal playbook for when engagement drops. Like, are a creator's views going down? Well, boom, suddenly there's a brand new staged marriage. The source specifically points out how some of these creators treat social media like a playground for totally fabricated relationship drama. They'll argue over honeymoon destinations, like Darjeeling versus Diga, or they'll post these incredibly forced romantic videos in the rain. It's all meticulously calculated, you know? The minute the numbers dip, the drama ramps right back up.
And honestly, it goes way beyond just staging fake events. It extends to strict, almost obsessive physical curation. The source highlights specific creators who flat out admit that they don't maintain their figures for personal health or anything like that. No, it's entirely to keep their audience captivated. Their whole lifestyle, their physical appearance, their daily routine, it's all viewed through this singular lens of audience retention. Every little thing is optimized just to feed the algorithm.
Moving on to Section 2, the social experiment excuse.
So what exactly happens when these super aggressive engagement tactics cross a line and actually make the audience angry? Well, here is the crucial point. The phrase social experiment has been entirely weaponized. It's become this super convenient label just to deflect blame. The source material ruthlessly mocks creators who push the boundaries with really offensive or absurd content because the very second they face any real public backlash, what do? They immediately throw their hands up and declare, hey, it was all just a social experiment. It's basically a get-out-of-jail-free card to avoid taking any accountability whatsoever.
This quote right here brilliantly captures the critic's frustration. Quote, "When people started swearing, they passed it off as a social experiment." The roaster is pointing out just how incredibly transparent this whole tactic is. I mean, come on, these creators aren't conducting deep sociological research here. They are just backpedaling from a PR disaster. The exact moment the comment section turns toxic and people start swearing, the narrative magically shifts, and suddenly it was an intentional test of societal reactions all along. Yeah, right.
Which brings us to Section 3, Views versus Societal Norms.
This friction over what's actually acceptable leads us straight into a massive clash between modern, kind of anything-goes internet behavior and traditional cultural boundaries. This is the core debate playing out in these regional comment sections every single day. On the one side, you've got a creator fiercely defending her personal autonomy. The source mentions a live stream where she explicitly states that whether she wears certain undergarments or pants, it is entirely her personal right. But then on the flip side, you have the roaster pushing back hard. They're enforcing traditional moral standards, arguing that society and culture have inherent boundaries that simply shouldn't be crossed just to get some views. Now, we aren't taking sides here in this explainer, but it is absolutely essential to understand that this isn't just an argument about a single post. It is a full-blown proxy war over changing cultural norms.
To defend their side of things, creators lean on a really specific piece of logic. They actually compare their 60-second reels to industry-level cinema. The source details how creators ask this very pointed question. They say, look, audiences will happily buy tickets to watch dramatic, romantic, or provocative scenes in a movie theater, right? And people praise that as art. So why, the creators ask, is it suddenly this massive destruction of societal values when they make similar content for their social media feeds? In their minds, they view themselves as digital actors, simply giving the audience exactly the entertainment they clearly crave.
All right, Section 4, the roaster's perspective.
Okay, so we've looked at the creators. Now we really need to analyze the roasters themselves, the folks acting as these self-appointed cultural critics in this chaotic online ecosystem. And let's look at the harsh reality of how they operate, because the language they use is brutal. It is uncompromising. The roaster actually claims these creators literally start their mornings with dirt and goes as far as comparing their content to bathroom waste. And they don't stop at the creators. They attack the viewers too.
literally comparing the creators' audiences to sheep who just blindly consume whatever gets put in front of them. The whole central thesis of the roaster's critique here is that this entire genre of content represents a shocking, absolute lack of basic shame or limits in modern society.
But wait, because here is absolutely the most fascinating piece of data from the entire source text. Read this. Should I roast your video? I need permission. I mean, wow. This reveals a massive, deeply ironic truth behind the scenes. Despite all the public outrage, despite calling the content dirt, these roasters will actually communicate directly with the creators in private, actively asking for permission to roast them. It is wild. It completely shatters this whole illusion of some noble moral crusade. Behind the curtain, the whole thing is just a highly coordinated dance.
Which leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. Think about it. If roasters hate this content so much, why do their own channels depend entirely on its existence? It's a perfectly closed loop. The creators need to make outrageous content to get views, and the roasters, well, they desperately need that outrageous content to generate their own outrage views. They feed off each other. They share the exact same social media oxygen. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this deep dive gave you a much clearer understanding of this bizarre, highly structured world of online engagement farming. Keep questioning what you see popping up on your feeds, and I'll catch you in the next one.